Hi, welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. This is the segment of Finding the Health in You. That's Finding the Health in You. I do this every Sunday, and we just talk about health and wellness. I'll be introducing my wellness program. A lot of us are going on a journey, but let's turn to let me start the show. Let's turn to. Hi, welcome back to Finding the Health in You. It's a segment I do on Sundays as a part of my Boxing Fan Talks TV. And we do this every Sunday. We meet up here at 1 p.m. every Sunday. So I think it seems like we got a lot to cover today, but it might not be that much. In previous episodes, we talked about the thyroid gland. We talked about um, the liver, and we talked about the pancreas. Now, I hope that everyone remember what those things do. And I want y'all to always keep in mind that the body is a complex thing, as we all should know. And a lot of things I'm going to talk about in my segments is it's not a secret. It's already out there. But first, I'd like to start off with my water check. So it is 1 p.m. on the Eastern Standard Time, and I'm on how many is this? The sixth water. So that means I've drank 40 ounces thus far, which is good for this time of day. Demetrius Bright is in the building. What's popping, King? So I got a little cold. Sorry. Y'all didn't know it. In the last couple of weeks, I've been a little sick, but not that bad. So I can smile about it because normally I'll be a lot sick. Like I had an ear infection bad. There's sometimes I was sitting on the panel dizzy, but I can see it's going away. Demetrius Bright said he's up to 20 ounces of water. That's good. It's 1 o'clock. You got time. Grind Hard Sports Nation said, hi, Miss T. How you doing? How you doing? So I've been sick, and that's why you hear me all this time, and I would tell you guys, we have some new people watching. We got some new people on my program. They hit me up in my email, and as I say, I will be discreet. Your testimony is your testimony, but I live for the day when you do a testimony. We got a couple of y'all who's been on the program, the more hardcore program, for about a week. Hi, ladies. I really am anxious to hear what you have to say. But again, we go at your pace. It's your testimony to give. If you don't want to say nothing, I have to say I understand, but I just really want you to testify. We got other people doing the program. Again, I live for those testimonies. But anyway, we always do a water check for everybody who's not going hardcore and who is slow walking. We do a water check every day. So Demetrius Bright said, Benavidez is a beast. Bumgarner is fire. Kid Galahad was a hype job. I hear you, King. We're going to talk about it Monday. I ain't going to talk about it now, but we're going to talk about it Monday. Because, yes, I did watch them fights. I have a lot to say about that. But we're going to do this wellness thing. So, as y'all know, as I said before, a lot of times I'm talking to the least of us, the ones who probably never heard of anything. So if I seem repetitive, or if you said, I already know that, Miss T, I'm talking to the people who might not know that, because it's possible to be in your 30s and not know something. That's not a secret, and it's out there. As I said, this is my sixth one, so I've already taken down 40 ounces. So I'm gonna tell you, since I've been back from Vegas, y'all know I went to Vegas for the Wilder fight, and I went for my birthday. That was back in October. So I got back home October 10th. I know I ain't do much of nothing on my birthday, which was that Monday, October 11th. And then I don't know when I actually started, but sometime after October 11th, I started back going on my journey the hardcore way. Now, I originally started, this is just a recap. I originally started, I want to say like August 6th, that within in part of that first week in August. Excuse me. Whew. So when I started, I went to about September 25th. Why did I stop? Because I was going to Vegas, and I'm gonna tell you, when you eat, like when you go on this journey and you go hardcore, you don't even have to make a fuss or do much. You're gonna eat right, period. And I knew I was gonna be with friends and family who came out there just for my birthday. That's a lot, and I'm appreciative of all of them. And they're gonna be eating. They're not on the journey with me. So I wanted to be I didn't want to be sitting at the table just looking at them. So I was like, okay, let me start eating a little so I can at least order something like a salad, something, or just take a couple of bites off something. I didn't want to stick out like a sore thumb. So the 25th, I stopped. And as always, when you start something and you stop it and then you try to start it again, it is difficult, So I'm gonna say September 25th. I gave myself about a week to try to acclimate again, start eating like what they eat. And then of course I was gone to the 10th. And that week, after October 11th, I know I started back. I'm gonna apologize if y'all hear me wheezing. I'm at the tail end of being sick, believe it or not. And I'm happy that I'm at the tail end, but I told y'all when I go through my illnesses, it's like a derailment almost. Did I totally derail? No. I had gains. I had good gains, but it wasn't the gains I wanted. It wasn't, I'm being greedy. I didn't get how much I wanted. So let's say, I don't know, I'm gonna pick a date. Because I don't remember what day after 11th of October, but probably like around October 14th or something. Maybe that weekend, I don't know. I started back up on it, and I've been doing good for the most part. I think I had one day where I actually ate because I was shaking. So when I get sick, like two of the medicines, we sometimes be like a cocktail of stuff that I have to take. But I gotta take steroids. Not steroids on a banned substance. Not that. But the kind that can make you extra hungry. Like I'm gonna kill a Cape buffalo. I'm gonna run them down and kill them. Or it'll make you gain weight for the most part. A lot of women get prescribed these medicine, but they work so good. They work. They work. Did y'all hear me? I'm wheezing. But they work. So I didn't lose as much as I wanted to. So since then, it's been a month pretty much. If you look at the 11th to the 11th, it's been about a month. I've lost about 15 pounds since then. So a total of 45 pounds. 30, about 30 of it, I lost from August 6th. Like I said, I believe it was August 6th or 7th to September 25th. That was 30. This last 15, since let's just say October 14th or something to now. Could have been double that. But as I told y'all, I don't approach it from the weight loss thing. And the reason why I have not been in the hospital, because normally around this time of year, I spend a lot of time in the hospital. And in the spring. Oh my God. So that transition from the summer to the fall be getting me. And then into the fall. It's only like when we get into winter, it mellows out and I'll be chilling. But then when the winter turning into the spring, it start back up or whatever. But like when it really at the highlight of the spring, when the pollen is everywhere, oh my God, I be hoping I make it. So because, and I'm not using it as an excuse. I knew, this is what I mean by I'm damaged goods. And you guys are not, you're going to have better success than me because there will be always a time that I get sick and I can't help it. I can't stop it. I think in the probably about 3, 4, maybe 5 years tops, I will be moving from this state, going back home to Virginia because the allergies is damn near killing me. I can't go into old age, having these problems year around. So I'm probably going to move near ocean, the Atlantic, of course, where I'm probably not too far off the ocean. And that way, for some reason, when I'm near the ocean, I'm hardly ever sick. So that's the plan. I'm already starting to get my house prepared and doing big repairs to get it ready to be sold. Anywho, enough about that. But I just wanted to tell y'all my gains in this last month. Again, I'm going hardcore. And I'm going to continue to go hardcore. Now, I know Thanksgiving is coming up. And some of y'all thinking y'all probably can't get through it. But Thanksgiving is just another day. I'm not pressed for Thanksgiving this year because I love the holiday. It's one of my favorite holidays. But my kids go to places for Thanksgiving. They might come home, but who want all that food up in here and where we gonna put it? So even if I cook something, I'm cooking it for the kids. And, for one type meal, I'm like not even cooking a lot, real talk, at all. None of it's really for me. I'm not pressed. But you be knowing people that can throw down. So you be like, oh, can I be strong? But you can be strong. You can be strong. So that's the plan as of right now for Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'm not doing no big Thanksgiving meal. Like my turkey that I'm gonna get is gonna be so small it can fit in my toaster oven. No bull, no bull. And I'm gonna rotisserize it, if that's a word. I'm gonna rotisserize it. I did it before and oh my God, it was good. But it's small. So by the time the kids eat it, it's not gonna really be nothing left. Like I said, I personally don't really want to eat none of that stuff. But I know Thanksgiving is big for you guys. Some of you started the hardcore program that you kind of should have been finished around Thanksgiving. Some of you won't be. And that's going to be a tough day for you. That's why I'm talking about it. To the ladies who's been doing it for a week, how you doing? I see you out there. I know y'all happy, but again, I can't. I don't want to seem like I'm an aggressive person, like I'm pushing you. What happened? What happened? Let the world know, but I don't know what their plans are, but they'll let us know when they're ready to let us know. To all my newcomers, I know we got some newcomers out there. A lot of ladies are starting to watch. Hi and welcome. You can go back to my first video. I think this is the 4th or 5th video, but you can go back to my first video, and that way you can hear about me. You can hear about my explanation. You can hear that I'm starting from a deficit. Like I said, this month, I'm in my journey trying to find the health in me has it's always a gain in it. Like I'm just saying like this, y'all. I just told y'all for the last couple of weeks I've been sick. For the last couple of weeks I've been on that cocktail they give me. One of them is steroids. Like I think two of them is steroids and the other one is not. That shit be saving my life. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take it, but it derails whatever I be trying to do. If I was into exercising, trying to get up and walk 10 miles a day like I used to, I couldn't. My arthritis seems like it hurts more whenever I take that stuff. Cause my shoulder is killing me. Like it keeps feeling like it's coming detached. But that's one of my autoimmune disorders that I have too, is rheumatoid arthritis. But whenever I get on these medicines, that's when they seem like they want to act up the most. But again, I have to take the medicine because it does save my life. One thing it can make you really, really hungry. So like that one day I ate a whole plate. My daughter cooked me some good food. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But she was cooking, and I just so happened to like 2-3 days on the medicine. And I just started shaking. And I was like, I know I got the you just know. You just know. And I was like, girl, bring me a plate. She was like, you ain't supposed to eat this anyway. Your kids to get you straight, right? So then I was like, girl, no, I'm shaking. Like, bring me a plate. So she did, and I was able to eat. Another thing that I don't know if it's this medicine, but I cannot sleep. So I've been having insomnia lately, but it works good because one of my favorite shows. I don't even look at TV anymore. I look at YouTube channels. So one of my favorite show is Barbershop Conversations. I look at his show. That's like my first and foremost. My second is the boxing section. And I look at all those boxing shows, all of them, 78, BF TV, Drew, of course, Blue Blood, and Black Fight Fan, The Fight Party. I look at all of them. Champ Side. It's too many to mention KQKC. I look at all of them. At one point, I'm going to get around to you. During the week, I'll try to be a day behind because, I want to be my authentic self and not, have something in my head that I heard when I do my show. So I'm a day behind, but I always come back and watch you guys. Barbershop Conversation, I watch live, and I love that show. Like, I live for that show at night. That's like my favorite show, you know what I'm saying? But it is hard to stay up late at night and watch that show. So I be saying I'm gonna watch it. That's why I call early. A lot of you guys in here watch it too, but that's why I call early, and then I just lay down and try to go to sleep and watch, but I never can. And then by the time it goes off, I'm up. So now I just gotta roll over to the boxing section, and I be trying to lay down. Then somebody will say something. I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. So, but I gotta stop that. Okay. These pills have thrown me off my sleep cycle. I be trying. I'm not getting enough sleep. And I told you, it doesn't matter what journey you go on, diet, whatever you want to call it. It won't work without proper sleep. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I'm doing my way. I have a program. Somebody out there might have a different program. They all work. But I just, of course I like my own, and mine's is like 99.9% guarantee. Again, when I go through whatever I go through, it's like a setback, but I know it's coming. I know that's with me. I don't feel that's got to be for you guys. I'm missing 4 organs. If you like me, then I guess we have the same issues, but I'm less 4 organs. Real talk. And I'm still here. I'm happy I'm still here. I walk through life appreciative that I'm still here. That's why I say you better make these changes before you have no choice. 20 some years ago, I didn't even think I'd ever make it to 50. I bull crap you now. I'm so happy because there's most of my life, young life, I did not think I was gonna make it to 50 years old, but I'm here. So, I ain't whining or nothing, but I'm just telling y'all how my last couple of weeks been to show you guys. This is my testimony to show you guys that even when you're going hard, and when I be telling you you can have a derailment, you just keep plugging and keep plugging. The medicine I'm on is kind of like the biggest resistor of me reaching a goal, like even dropping weight. Even though I might be wanting to drop weight, I don't approach my situation as me dropping weights. To the ladies who just joined us, the hardcore program, I call it that right now, who joined a week ago, they have some good testimony to give. It's just up to them for when they want to give it. But it was probably hard, right? But you see the results and you're like, wow. So for me, I know what could have been, and because my usual happening, I didn't get to. I could see it. I could see it. I almost can touch it. I can smell it, but I don't get to have it all the time. So you guys way ahead of me. Again, it's my 6th one. And so I'm gonna be at 48 ounces when I'm done with this, preferably by the end of this show. I'm going to make my 100 ounces. After this show, I'm gonna do everything in my power today to stay up. I'm tired right now, and wear myself out today because and I probably won't see all my shows, even though I want to. I probably won't because I'm gonna have to go to sleep. I'm gonna have to. All of this stuff I'm doing is in vain. So that's my little spiel about that. Now to the newcomers. I see y'all. I see y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. So, like I said, you can go back to 4 episodes ago, and the dates on them will be like after October 11th because I didn't make the first one until I got back from Vegas. So it might have been 11. It might have been October 17th, if memory serves me, because it was after I came back from Vegas, and it was on the Sunday at 1:00. So that I want to say that will be October 17th. Go check it out. It'll explain everything. Now, in the previous weeks, we talked about the thyroid gland. We talked about the liver. We talked about what else? The pancreas. Okay, today we're going to talk about a couple of things. And I'm going to show y'all why I feel that the human body is complex and confusing. I'm going to show you exactly why a lot of people do not connect dots on a lot of things. Because, of crap like this. Like we're going to talk about ghrelin. We're going to talk about malnutrition. Okay, and what it means. So ghrelin is a hormone and is a very important hormone. But when you talk about it and you read about what it is and what it's supposed to do, it's hard to connect dots even after you hear that. But I got a little video that I'm gonna play. And I don't own these videos. That's why you don't see my Cash App up. You don't see it up because I don't want no confusion. No confusion that I earned this. I'm using it as an educational thing. Now, you guys that's new to the show, if you see me stop the video and talk over it, that's to ensure that we don't get no copyright because I don't own this. This is like educational. It's put out here for you and me and in the world to learn some things. And so I just use it in the show, but I don't own any of it. So just I'm making sure y'all know that, right? And I could talk off the cuff, but a lot of people understand or learn things from talking and sometimes actually just looking at a film or something. So we're gonna go ahead and start this. And if it's a commercial they're popping in, so be it.
Today's video is going to be on appetite control. I'm going to be talking about the two main hormones that regulate appetite. So that includes ghrelin and leptin. And these guys are here to make sure that you either don't get too fat or too skinny, so you don't have too many calories or too few, by controlling hunger behavior. So because they're homeostatic hormones, they obviously are going to act on the hypothalamus. So they each act on a different region of the hypothalamus and either trigger hunger, as in the case for ghrelin, or satiety, as in the case for leptin. So let's get into a couple details about ghrelin here. So ghrelin is our appetite hormone. An easy way to remember this is that when you're hungry, your stomach growls. So GHR for growl, and that is for appetite.
So stop right there. Ghrelin is a hormone, and it's an appetite hormone, right? So he said the way you can remember it is when you growl, ghrelin. Y'all listen closely to what this tutorial says, because y'all gonna see how confusing it is when I put my stank on it. But go ahead.
All right, so this ghrelin hormone is produced by X cells in the stomach. They release it into the bloodstream and it travels to the lateral hypothalamus in the brain. This then causes the hunger response. So it causes you to go seek and look for more food.
Okay. The hypothalamus, right, is just like a messenger or the main post office. If you want to paint a picture, the hypothalamus is a thing in the brain that get a lot of messages from all kinds of parts of your body. Your nervous system talks to it. A lot of things talk to it. It gets a message. The message tells them to put out an order, and that order tells a body part to do XYZ. It's not that important for what I'm trying to do, but they breaking down how this works. So I just be feeling like it's important. So okay.
All right, another function of ghrelin is that it's going to prepare the body for this food. So this ghrelin is going to go ahead and act on the stomach itself, and it's going to increase gastric motility and gastric acid production to prepare the body for the food that the lateral hypothalamus just ordered. Ghrelin is induced by two major inducers, so hypoglycemia and low body weight. So let's say you have low blood sugar, as in the case for hypoglycemia, or you're very thin, as in the case of low body weight, you're going to want to fix that by eating more food.
So ghrelin is supposed to, for all intents and purposes, spruce up your appetite, make you hungry so you can eat. You're going to gain weight with the proper amount of ghrelin going through your body. Just kind of saying it. They talked about hypoglycemia and low body weight. But it causes hunger. So it probably also causes because when you get hungry, the telltale sign is your mouth secreting a lot of saliva. That is the ultimate telltale sign that you're hungry. If you're not hungry, your mouth would, be its normal wetness. But when you like, when you gotta take them big, you know, swallows or whatever, because your mouth is watery, that is the sign that you are hungry. Ghrelin produce that growling sound, them hunger pains, which later on down the line, we're going to talk about hunger pains and how that's not a real thing, even though you experience it. But I'm going to keep going.
An inhibitor for ghrelin includes stomach distension. So if you see over here on the diagram on the right, distending the stomach is going to decrease ghrelin and decrease appetite because you have a bunch of food in the stomach and you don't need any more. All right, so let's hop over to leptin. So leptin is our satiety hormone, and it is produced by our white fat. So these white adipose cells over here.
Satiety, you can look it up. Satiety means you're full. You good to go. That's all that means. Remember, we talked about white adipose cells. That's fat cells. You either got white or brown adipose cells or tissue or fat, whatever you call it. White is the kind that everybody and their mama trying to pull off them. Brown is the good kind because it just burns continuously. Brown fat cells do not linger in the body. White fat cells do. But all fat cells are called adipose tissue. So let's go.
Are going to produce our leptin. And as these cells go bigger and bigger and bigger, they're going to produce more and more leptin. So the fat is kind of doing a negative feedback on itself. So fat produces more leptin. This goes to the ventromedial hypothalamus. Then we're going to get inhibition of food intake and the fat's going to get smaller. So the fat is controlling itself in this case. And an easy way to remember that leptin is produced by fat cells is that I think of L for lipid and L for leptin. And inducers for leptin include insulin and emotional stress. So let's say you have high blood glucose, you're going to have high insulin. And
now we know we talked about the pancreas last week. We know that insulin is another word, aka sugar. Remember we was talking about imagine how insulin is used because you eat something, it comes down to your stomach, and it in all food like pulls off like 3 molecules of sugar. Well, for every 3 molecules of sugar, it has to be accompanied with or escorted through your body by 1 molecule of insulin. And all of that, in order for it to be used, because we know we run off of sugar and we run off of hormones, right? Your body cannot survive without running off of sugar, but what it can do without is the fake sugar. So if you need 3 molecules of sugar from whatever it is you ate and 1 molecule of insulin that came from your pancreas, that's the only way it can be used. Without it, it just stores as white adipose tissue. Keep those things in mind, y'all.
And that's going to induce leptin, say, let's stop eating, our blood sugar is high enough. And then emotional stress, so let's say you're running away from a tiger, you don't have time to think about those yummy blueberries in the bush. You're too busy devoting all your energy to fight or flight. So those are inducers for leptin. So let's not be hungry in these cases. And then inhibitors for leptin include short-term fasting. So let's say you haven't eaten for 8-9 hours, your leptin response is going to be inhibited, and ghrelin is going to take over. So both ghrelin and leptin are in your system all the time, just the levels are different. So sometimes ghrelin is higher and you're going to feel hungry, and sometimes leptin is higher and you're going to feel satiated. Let's talk about the hypothalamus for a second. So these hormones are produced in the stomach and in the fat, and they're going to travel up to the hypothalamus, and they're going to act either on the lateral or the medial hypothalamus. So here in purple, we have the lateral hypothalamus, and here in blue, we have the medial hypothalamus. So what does the lateral hypothalamus react to? That's right, it's going to react to ghrelin, so it's going to cause you to be hungry. Now in this case, the experimenters lesioned it, so they cut the lateral hypothalamus in these mice. What's going to happen to this mouse? Well, it's going to get thinner because now our leptin is our predominant hormone, and it's telling the mouse, I'm full all the time, I don't need to eat. And ghrelin can no longer act on the lateral hypothalamus. All right, so let's say we lesion the ventromedial hypothalamus, these two blue dots right here. Well, now ghrelin response is going to be more predominant, so our mouse is going to feel hungry all the time and it's going to be fat. So we need a balance between these two hormones to get our mouse just in the right weight range where it's not undernourished or overnourished. An easy way to remember this is that our lateral hypothalamus makes you grow laterally. So if we draw a guy over here, let's say this is a skinny guy, and then this is a fatter version of himself. So the lateral hypothalamus makes you grow laterally, while the medial hypothalamus makes you grow medially. So you're going to get thinner. Okay, so that's an easy way to remember this. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a clinical correlate before we end off here, just to hammer the point home. So here we have two obese people, but they're obese for different reasons. Over here on the left, we have someone with Prader-Willi syndrome, which is a mutation on chromosome 15. Now, Prader-Willi does a bunch of things, but one of the things it does in correspondence with ghrelin and leptin is that it increases ghrelin levels. So now, this man is going to feel hungry all the time, and that's the cause for his obesity. In contrast, over here, this small child has congenital obesity. So what that causes is an insensitivity to leptin. So our medial hypothalamus, right in here in blue, is no longer sensitive to leptin, which means this child does not feel satiated at all. So they're going to keep eating and eating and eating. So in both these people, the ghrelin response is overactive. In here, because they're on the right, because there's more ghrelin, and on the left, because there is a decrease in leptin sensitivity. So ghrelin response is going to be more active.
So every time I try to go to my avatar, it wouldn't let me. But listen, so y'all just heard that. Basically saying that ghrelin is the hunger hormone and leptin is the satiated hormone. Satiated meaning I'm full. So if you listen to that, you would think, if they can bottle satiation, I just made up a word. But if they could bottle it, it'll fly off the shelves because it's the hormone that make your body think it's full, and then your body don't want nothing. So your body's not resisting, like brain wise, your body's not sending messages to resist. And that's how you can peel weight off. But I'm gonna flip all of that upside down on your head. Oh, and to y'all new folks, whatever your doctor prescribed, y'all keep doing that. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm telling you stuff that I learned formally and informally and experience. As the great Mickey Howard said, experience is a good teacher. Take someone like me to know. Okay. So I'm gonna explain it in a way like you heard that clinical explanation of ghrelin and leptin. And then I may say something that's gonna totally seem like it debunks what you just heard or go against what you just heard. But it's almost like one of the things like the two can be true. I'll give you an example. When we talked about the thyroid gland, I told you, in order for you to just live, to wake up every morning, your body has to be registering that you have T4, adequate T4 in your body system. Now, T4 by itself does nothing. It's not usable. It's in a protective coating. There has to be a chemical reaction or a thing happen before it can be usable. And that can only happen at your filtering stations, pretty much, i.e., your liver. But T4, just knowing that it's in your body like, yeah, yep, we got it, we good. And that's cool. You living. But what about your quality of life? What about T3? What about T2? What about T1? What about reverse T3? These hormones are just as important. Matter of fact, when you hear stuff saying T2, D2, C2, I mean, when you hear the number 2, just, it's not an absolute, but for our purposes, just think storage. What would the body be if they could not store up for a rainy day? The body does that all the time. When people don't have a storage is when you see them take a nosedive in their health. So, I mean, you could think about it like iron. Women, we suffer, a lot of women suffer from being iron deficient. And you would think, why is iron, what's the big deal? But the big deal is, in order for you to make a full, complete cell, you got to have vitamins and minerals running through your body. And when you don't make complete cells. And when you don't make complete cells, you shorten your life. Or you get cancer, or you get diabetes, and so forth and so on. That's why it's important to have vitamins and minerals running through your body, because those are the things that happen when you don't. So we was talking about ghrelin and leptin. I want to stay on track because I can get deep in it and then be going off on a tangent. So y'all keep me on track. Demetrius, keep me on track because I could go. Well, so you got, when we was talking about the thyroid, we like the pendulum is over here. As long as your body registered T4 is happy. Oh, she's living. She's good. This is the synthyroid, the synthetic medicine that I take every day. I take it early in the morning. My body registered. Oh, she has enough in her. We'll let her live another day. Now go back to the other side of the pendulum. This the other side. Over here. This side has the T3, the reverse T3, the T2, the T1. Now, they want to be happy too. But as I said, the body is a balancing act, right? So if your reverse T3 number is like in the 40s or 50s, I could profile you right now. I could tell what you look like. I could tell. And if your reverse T3 is the normal range, which is about 4 or 5, or no more than 10. 10 is the max. I can kind of profile you too. I really can't, because I know what it does to you. You might as well say it takes the fact that the T4 is right there to be converted and said, sit tight. You're not going to do anything. Just hold tight. We'll get to you one day. But right now, And then it gets on the road. Sit tight. So now you got a backup of a lot of T4 cells and that you can't use. And again, the T4 comes from your thyroid. That's supposed to be your metabolism, right? But you ain't gonna get no metabolism if your reverse T3, if it's taking that T4 and sitting it down, if it's sidelining it. And it will do that for a lot of reasons. We're not gonna go in depth, but we talked about the liver, the 2 jobs that it has, filtering and metabolism. The first primary job is filtering. If you make it filter all day, it will never metabolize. That's a reason for buildup of reverse T3. But a lot of y'all won't go ask and get that tested. And y'all will say, why am I overweight? That's why. That could be a reason. That's probably the most common reason for a lot of people. But can you reverse that? You most certainly can. It's called nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, you know, and less bullshit. Western diet, American diet. That's how you reverse it. You starve stuff to death. That's how you reverse things and make it better. So getting back to ghrelin and leptin, as recap, the lady said or the man said on the film, ghrelin is the hunger hormone. When you're hungry, ghrelin lets you know you're hungry. It's time to eat. If you're eating, you're gonna gain weight. You're gonna be good to go, right? But leptin is when you're satiated. You good to go. You feel full. You don't need to eat. So a lot of people think if I don't eat, then I'm good. And you kind of right, but you're not kind of right. Now the ghrelin they want to talk about um yeah, fruit, veggies, and waters. It's Actamundo. That's where you get your nutrients, your vitamins and minerals. They come from that. Okay. Believe it or not, y'all want to know the best vitamin pill is a baked potato or a potato, period. The potato is the same as a vitamin. Remember, I told y'all for every pill you take, there's a food you can eat that does the same job. That's how they know how to make the pill in the first place. The potato is nothing but a multivitamin. That's all it is. Everything that you can get out of the multivitamin is found in the potato. Everything. It's the one food that has all nutritional value that can be had out there. Like everything is found in the potato. And I'm talking white potato, y'all. Demetri said potatoes for now on. Sweet potatoes better. But no, Demetrius, I gotta put it. I didn't put it out there like in the beginning. Um, you don't want to be on potatoes just yet, but it is one of the approved foods. I usually bring it out in phase 2, but right now, even with us slow walking, we in phase 1. So um, potatoes is phase 2 type stuff and beyond. But anywho, so we get that. So they's like, okay, ghrelin is pretty much gonna make you gain some weight. It's like the weed of the hormones, because if you smoke weed, if you have a problem with gaining weight, the doctor will prescribe you weed, or they will tell you should smoke weed because it's the most non-invasive, easiest way to get you to gain weight. And some people have to gain weight. And they be like, yeah, smoke some weed because you're going to get the munchies and blah, 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 blah. So they make it sound like ghrelin is that. But I'm here to tell you different. And I know some of you going to probably resist when I say this, but I'm telling you what I know. Okay. I did all these years, with my thyroid gland. I told you I was 24 when they pulled it. I was 1 shy away from my 25th birthday. I had to live with this thing. I had to learn about it. I had to do all this stuff from a deficit. And it wasn't until my 40s that I learned all this stuff about reverse T3, T2, T1. Because nobody has ever just felt like they need to sit down and tell me about it. To them, it wasn't important. But for me and my quality of life, it meant the world. So when I was able to get out the military, because the military gonna do it how they want to do it, and you belong to them. So when I've retired, I went to what they call integrated doctors. There's a lot of doctors that are jumping ship from prevailing wisdom. Some people, it's really about the money. It's about the pharmaceutical companies, giving large donations to medical school to make medical students learn to give the pharmaceuticals that company makes as a cure or a fix to whatever problems out there. In the end, it's a big circle of just making money. Pharmaceuticals want to have the doctors beholden to them. And they can. They can because they make billions of dollars, and they don't want to put out, that's not, their motto is not to put out something that totally fix you. Because if they do that, then how they going to make their billions of dollars? I don't want to make them the boogeyman, but like anything in life, when you start making money from it, it's going to be a lot of bad stuff that happens. Some people going to fall short of some things, and, you're just not going to know everything. So, I still feel that they can be successful because medicine is needed, but, just being greedy, like the EpiPen incident, like, let me tell you, I stay with an EpiPen. But I was fortunate I did 20 years in the military because I don't ever pay for that shit. I never had to pay the 8,000 or whatever it had went up to when they was trying to make money off of people, and they had to take them folks to court and all that and get it reduced. I'm sure it still costs a lot. Medicine has a shelf life, so I can have an EpiPen. I get one pretty much every other year, maybe every year. It depends. All I gotta do is ask. They do not question me or nothing. Can I get one for the car? Can I get one for the house? Boom. No problem. And I know there's people out there that's like their life depend on it. Cause it can be. I'm supposed to carry one with me everywhere I go. Because it could save my life. I know if I ever was, when I go on the highway and travel, I take it. I need to get a bracelet like a real gold bracelet or something, but I don't wear a lot of jewelry or metal because again my allergies. But I should get a real gold one or a silver one that explains, look, I got an EpiPen on me. If I'm swelling up or anything like that, y'all gotta stick me in the leg. Cause I can't do myself. That's a big ass needle. Anywho, but pharmaceuticals in the business of making money, pharmaceutical companies. So why would they give you something that's gonna totally fix whatever? Okay. So, like I said, when you have the thyroid hopping off good, the T3 and shit is not. Never once would a doctor sit you down and talk about that because they don't care. They looking at the life and death. You looking at life and death and quality of life. They only care about life and death. And since, hey, long as you get Synthroid in you, i.e. thyroid, you living. We good. We did our job. High five, doc. High five. That's all they care about. I care about my body doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. If I walk 10 miles a day, damn it, I want to look like I walk 10 miles a day. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever other symptoms come with, having hypothyroidism that I do not want. You know what I'm saying? But they're not looking at that area. And like I said, there's a lot of doctors nowadays that are jumping ship against the prevailing wisdom because up to a certain point in life in America, all medicine was desiccated. And now most medicine is synthetic. Desiccated simply means somebody made it from scratch. Y'all know the insignia of the pharmacy, that cup with the little stick that you grind up your medicine. In the Navy, that's I think the hospital corpsmen had that on their uniform. The RX, and they got RX next to by any pharmacy. Okay, back up into a certain time, humans, that was actually a profound profession to literally go in there and make somebody's mess. I'm gonna make Mr. Johnson's medicine today. But like anything humans do, there can be mistakes. And that has always been the case. And when I say up to a certain point, I want to even say to the 70s. Because everything started going processed and everything started going synthetic. Now, if you ask the synthetic companies, they're going to say their medicine is better because it's on point, it's never fucked up, the machine make it. If you ask desiccated people, they'll say theirs is better because it's made from living things and it's good for you. But like I tell you, if you look at that symbol says it all. Basically, they were putting in things that were living, i.e., growing out the ground, and making medicine from it. They were living things to put in a living body. The word synthetic make you think, well, if that's fake, how is it doing anything to me, for me, in my living body? Because that's fake. That is not living. But my body is living. That's a whole nother show. I'm not even gonna go in depth on that. But they never allowed themselves to be like humming. But it's definitely a pharmaceutical war. So in order to make a pill, you have to put fillers. Those fillers, people, are that fake sugar that I be talking about that you don't want in your system. Hold on. When somebody trying to pull up, hey, I'm ready. I'm just let y'all hear that sound. I'm ready at all times. In the house, that is. But anyway, yeah, because that's weird. Don't be pulling up in front of my driveway. I'm not expecting you neither. So it almost threw me off track. So that if you ask the pharmaceutical companies, they'll say synthetic better and desiccated is not. Desiccated would be like, no, it's better. The main argument they'll make is because they can make mistakes. What if you get a bad batch? For instance, for years, and I mean since the 1800s, we go back centuries with this. People had thyroid issues, right? What I had was nothing new. That a lot of people can have that in life. What was new is that I had it at the age I had. Most people had this problem, sort of around the age I am now and a little bit younger, but not at 24 years old. So back then, they used to make the medicine that I take every day to live from a pig's thyroid. Because apparently, a pig and a human thyroid gland is almost identical and works the same. He says, stay on track, Miss T. I'm trying. But you see the car, you be like, what you want? So a pig's thyroid gland, like I said, is identical to a human's. So they would take the pig's thyroid gland because, got farms with pigs. And I'm sure that pig is treated like royalty because that's an organ. You really just can't be having no dirty, sterile, unsterile shit. But at these desiccated pharmacies, and they still in the country now. They had deplenished over the years, but they're making a comeback because a lot of doctors are saying, come on now, we can't keep doing this shit. We're making them sicker. We're not helping them. So they'll make these thyroid medicine. And believe it or not, y'all, there is a such thing as a T3 pill. Good luck trying to get it. I know a lot of people try to get it. I'm a person who can get it. I can get a prescription easy because I have no thyroid gland. And I told you I don't make metabolism, so you can't deny me. But they will never, ever just willy give you that. If you luck up on it, and some people try to luck up on it, in the long run, you're going to hurt yourself. Because what did I tell y'all about your body being a balancing act? If your body naturally do something, let it do what it do. Don't take no pills to substitute what it do, because what'll happen is your body be like, oh, she's taking melatonin. Well, I'm gonna stop producing it since she already doing it. Shit, I'm gonna fall back. That shit can kill you in the long run. Y'all, a lot of people is worried about things that happen right now. Y'all don't be thinking that y'all be having a slow death. But you don't mess with your body's balance. That's nothing to play with. Just don't do it. If you can help it, don't do it. Play around with something else, but don't play around with that. Okay? Because you're gonna be upset because you relinquish control over your body to who, I don't know, but it won't be you. And you are not gonna like it. Trust me. So they'll make this T, because I used to get T3 this not that long ago. the trick is finding the right dosage for you. Everybody's unique. So finding the right dosage, I done went through a whole bunch. Then I get the kind, like I got up there in number where I'm like, I'm like shaking. I can't even, y'all see how hard my shoulder. I couldn't even simulate shaking. But I'm gonna be like, I was shaking because the T3 had me hyper. It was like, oh, just I'm just hyped and shit. So they had to figure out the doses, but that takes a long time. Let me give you an example of doses that I'm talking about, why it would take a long time. So you can get thyroid pills that say they're 0.0001 to 0.250 and above and below. So that ought to tell you it's so many dosages. And it takes a long time because you have to let it sink, get in the system good and test every 3 months at a minimum. But sometimes they like to test every 6 months. So I'm just saying, anybody who know people who can get T3 pills, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself, because I know there's some people out there that would give it to their kids or whatever, or try to cheat. It ain't no quick, fast way. Just let your body do what it can do. Get your body healthy. That's the quick, fast way. Demetrius Bright said, is fish oil good for you? See, all of that stuff is not, you don't need all that. Like, you got, I can't remember, like, I might have to do a show about that, because you got omega-6 and omega-3s, right? And I keep getting confused which one we eat the most. I want to say we eat the most omega-6 in America, but we hardly eat omega-3s. And if you don't balance that out, that all come from like seafood. So people try to do the fish oils and all that stuff. Dude, you don't have to do all that. I'm telling you, you don't never have to do any of that stuff. If you want to, I'm not against it, but you don't have to. So I'm gonna leave it at that, because when you eat certain foods, they have healing properties. Like I just told y'all, a baked potato, I said baked potato because nobody eats a raw potato. But a baked potato, don't put the sour cream. Don't put the sugar. Believe it or not, some people do sugar. Don't put the butter, the whatever, all that topping that you put in the baked potato. To include sweet potatoes, because sweet potatoes definitely would be butter and sugar for me. But don't put all that shit on it. Eat it like, seasoning. You're always okay to use seasoning, like season on Lowry's or whatever. However you sprinkle your seasons. Do your baked potato up however you want. You can eat potatoes. They good for you. Believe it or not. White sweet potatoes, the Japanese kind that look purplish, you can eat any kind of potato. But the potato is the same thing as popping a multivitamin in your mouth. But the potato is better, because the multivitamin is a pill, right? And it's going to have fillers. That means it's going to have fake sugar. Fillers are just things that are used to fill the gap, to help make the pill. So whatever the pill got in it that fix whatever problem, they probably giving you 40% of whatever it is to fix the problem. It's just like aloe vera soap, aloe vera, the bath thing, the vino. Sorry to call these names out. I'm not trying to put them down. They good. They're good products. But y'all know what I'm talking about. People with sensitive skin and all that be hopping on that. But you know what? You can go right to the store for $1.50 or less and get you one of those actual aloe vera plants. It's shaped like a weird shaped triangle. It's real long. Because it has this shape, the parts of a triangle, both sides, and then the two endpoints is not just like a triangle, like perfectly shaped. But it's you can get one of those for like $1.50 or less. Take it home, cut it, and look up YouTube videos of how to cook that stuff to make you can use it in your hair. So it's gonna give you some vitamin E. You can do all that stuff. You don't have to per se do the fish oils, because anything that's made at a market is bound to, for the market is bound to be processed. But if the people just took it out the ground and cleaned it off and put it in the store, that's the one. That's your high ticket item. That's what you want. So everything else, I mean, if you like it, you like it, but it's not necessary. And not for my program. My program is very simplistic, and my program doesn't take long. But a lot of people, I guess they want it with less pain. Trust me, I'm so into the Western diet. I love it. I'm American, ain't I? Everywhere I've lived, and I've lived so many places overseas. A long time. I spent a long time living overseas. And I can tell you this, that it didn't matter where I went. I always ate American food. Because I have a weak stomach, I got my issues, my allergies and all that. And I just couldn't be one of them people that, I'll try this, let me try that. I would know people like that, and I'd be like, damn. I'd be like low-key envious a little bit. Not in a bad way, but just low-key envious. Because I want to be able to try that too, but I'm scared I'm going to be in the hospital if I do. And so you could say kind of lived a humdrum life, because when it comes to eating, I was never a big eater. Never. I never was. I didn't have a chance to, because I would get sick so easy. But if you look at my weight, you would think that I eat good. But no, I don't. I don't eat good, like meaning I'm not a big eater. I've never in my life been a big eater. And before I had my thyroid gland, I was happy the way things look. Okay. I was happy the way things worked out. But yeah, so you have, we getting back to ghrelin and leptin. We talked about the thyroid gland, how it works, and this, that, and the other, and how even though you go to the doctor, they concentrate on one thing, but they ain't even talk about the other thing. Well, ghrelin and leptin comes off like that to me too. So I'm gonna read some definitions, and I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying, but at the same time, when I flip it, be open-minded to receive the other things that I'm saying. So how do I want to do? Okay, I'm gonna go to here. Oh, hold on, y'all. So, okay, oh, I thought it went away. I'm like, what happened to my thing? Okay. So I just did a Google search, and it say, where is ghrelin produced? And that was just a simple question. And ghrelin, which is produced by the stomach. You notice how they say the stomach? When I flip it, I'm going to be talking mainly about the pancreas. But I want y'all to notice the daylight between the stomach and the pancreas when talking about ghrelin. They put more emphasis and talk more up on the stomach rather than anything else. So it said ghrelin, which is produced by the stomach, increases during periods of fasting. So they saying when you're fasting, you see a lot more ghrelin in your stomach, right? That's when you get the growls, like what I'm going through right now. I'm gonna go downstairs and drink some juice, but I'm going through it right now. All the growling and stuff. So that is a true statement. So let me read it again. Ghrelin, which is produced by the stomach, increases during periods of fasting or under conditions associated with negative energy balance, such as starvation or anorexia. In contrast, ghrelin levels are low after eating or with hyperglycemia and in obesity. So they basically saying when you starving, what'll happen when you starving? You get the hunger pains, right? Anorexic people are starving. That's also known as a disease now. And then the ghrelin levels are lower after you eat. So if you eat, you're not producing as much ghrelin. Remember I told y'all about the pancreas? And I said, when you eat, what the pancreas do? It produces what? Insulin. Now, when you don't eat, what's getting produced? Ghrelin. This thing is telling us that ghrelin is produced in the stomach, but it is also produced from the pancreas. But they not gonna big that up. They bigging up the stomach area. I don't care about the shit in the stomach. I'm caring about more so for our purposes what's going on in the pancreas. So then this other question I asked, what does ghrelin do in the pancreas? So it say in this context, ghrelin has recently been reported to promote proliferation and cell growth. Mm. Cell growth sound like growth hormones, or like stuff like some that a pubescent person goes through. Like athletes are killing themselves getting these banned substances. You know why? Because they want cell growth. They want growth hormones. They want to put themselves back in the zone when they were growing, because growing, a lot of stuff is going on, and you're healing quicker and you're recovering quicker, and you're growing. You're getting bigger, you're getting stronger. Once that shit turn off after puberty, you don't get no more. So that is what the whole thing about with these athletes cheating and everything. They're trying to be youth, because youth is a hot commodity. But everybody gets their youth and then they don't have it because you get older. Time waits for no one. So ghrelin has recently been reported to promote proliferation and cell growth, and to inhibit apoptosis in a pancreatic B cell line and human isolates. So, apoptosis, I think about cell reproduction or not. I ain't gonna get into that. It's not necessary. B cells, B vitamins, B12, B6. We all know that that's that metabolism zone. 42. This suggests that one of the main functions of ghrelin in the developing pancreas could be the induction of cell growth and maturation. I told y'all, when y'all growing, you might as well say you like in the fountain of youth. If you think of it like that. Not quite, but just think of it like that. What causes ghrelin to secrete? Okay? Meaning release. Get out of there. Like what has to go on in your body to make the ghrelin just, come and be like, da 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 da, I'm here. Otherwise, it'll just fall back and stay dormant, But what makes it secrete? Ghrelin is a hormone produced by specialized cells that line the stomach and the pancreas. In the stomach, cells that secrete ghrelin include the P/D1 cells, in the fundus, or the upper part of the stomach. And in the pancreas, and I told you, it does it in the pancreas too. Ghrelin secreting cells are called epsilon cells. Who cares? That's just getting more clinical. But right there is proven. The reason why I read it, because it's proven that it's produced in the stomach and the pancreas. As I say, I don't worry too much about the stomach, because that whole video you watch probably is catering to that area. I'm more interested in what it do from the pancreas, and I'm gonna tell y'all how I flip it. Flip it from what they said, because everything they said in that video is true. I'm not disputing it. A doctor, if you ask him, that's their go-to. I'm talking about the shit that they don't never really go to. Kind of like the reverse T3s, the T2s, the T1s. They're just as important, but that ain't the go-to for the doctor. But for your quality of life, you might want to look at that. So, what triggers hunger in the body? So they said the brain triggers the release of a hormone called ghrelin in response to an empty stomach. So you don't have no food in your stomach. The brain releases ghrelin or in anticipation of the next meal. And ghrelin is probably working in conjunction with your saliva. Because remember, I told you how you know you're hungry is saliva. That's the telltale sign. If you want to know a telltale sign where you feel like, or your body feel like you need to eat, go by the saliva you create. If your mouth is more watery than normal, it's time to eat. If it's not, and you got hunger pains and all that stuff, but your mouth is, it's normal watery self, you good. Don't get off your journey. Don't derail yourself. Because hunger pain is not a real thing. I will explain that in so many episodes later, but we ain't got there yet, But I know half of y'all would not believe me, be like, how this bitch gonna tell us that hunger pain is not a real thing? When we feel it, we hear it, and all that stuff, it's not a real thing. But I'd rather talk to people who are going through the journey and who is on like week 3 to talk about that, because then they can amen me back and be like, yo, it's not. But we make it seem like it is. Like my stomach growling now. I don't know if it's picking up on this mic, but it is. But and I didn't make it growl, and that's a real growl, right? But hunger is not a real thing. As far as how we know it and classify it. And I'll explain, like I said, episodes later. Ghrelin signals the body to release stomach acids to digest food. Remember, we talked about what the food process is. When it comes down through your stomach, it has to be broken down. And the acid from the small intestine does all this stuff. And acid that might be in the stomach, period. If food is not consumed, if it's not eaten, if you don't put a food item in your mouth, then of course it won't make it to the stomach, right? Because you didn't eat nothing. But if food is not consumed, the stomach acids begin to attack the lining of the stomach, causing hunger pains. I kind of was saying that hunger is not a real thing. It's not a real thing in the way we know it. So maybe I should say it like that. Y'all just heard what hunger is. Hunger pains are. It's when you're not putting food in your stomach. But there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You can always eat without putting food in your stomach. I know y'all said, girl, what you talking about, Willis? I'm talking about the truth. So, they talk about who discovered it. We're not going to get into that. What hormone, and this discovery of ghrelin in here lately, that is a new thing. That's the end of the century, of the 20th century. That ain't something that people probably kind of knew about it back in the 19th century, but they really did. That's the 20th century in kind of discovery towards the end of the 20th century, which is a good thing, because when you know better, you do better, right? What hormone suppresses the appetite? Ask that question. Leptin is a hormone made by fat cells. It's made by your adipose tissue. So basically, it said fat cells. It didn't distinguish. So it's made by brown and white fat cells, I got to assume. But it's made by fat cells that decreases your appetite. So remember that we was talking about the word satiety. Satiety meaning I'm good. I ain't hungry. I'm good. So ghrelin is a hormone that increases your appetite, giving you the munchies, and also plays a role in body weight. That's what it say. Full stop, period. That's all it say. And I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute. Levels of leptin, the appetite suppressor, are lower when you're thin and higher when you're fat. So leptin is saying, I'm good. So when you don't have enough leptin in your system, then you're always going to be hungry. And see how they was talking about ghrelin is the one that causes you to have the appetite. I just read what hunger pains really are. where it come from. Okay, we're gonna put all that together in a minute. Let me read this last one. I think it's the last one. It said, does fasting reduce ghrelin? Studies have shown that ghrelin stimulates growth hormone. Who don't want growth hormone? Athletes are getting in trouble, getting banned from their sports, losing out on boxing matches because they in there trying to take some type of form of a growth hormone. It promotes food, it also promotes food intake and decreases energy expenditure. Furthermore, feeding status seem to influence plasma ghrelin levels as these are increased during fasting. There that word fasting again. Whereas feeding and oral glucose, which is sugar, intake reduce plasma ghrelin. What does all this mean, Ms. T? Okay, we're going to go back. What all this means is, okay, so ghrelin, according to the clinical definition, is saying, hey, it's an appetite thing. Ghrelin is going to produce you to, or get you to want to have a bigger appetite. Like it's going to make you want to eat. If you want to eat so much, then that's how we gain weight. That's a rudimentary, I'm probably saying the word wrong, though. That's an old school way of explaining stuff, because if just eating makes you gain weight, then where are these thin people come from? Because they eat every day too. But see, that's how they explain it, and that's how we take it, and we don't ever connect the dots because it's just not that simple. Then they talked about the leptin. They said the leptin gives you satiety. Okay, so you would think, let me go buy me some leptin pills. I've taken them in my past, and that shit don't work. Don't work. What they saying is true to a certain extent, but they leaving out a certain part that they don't think is that important. And that's the part that I'm gonna emphasize. Was the part of the creme de la creme. Look, hold on one second. I don't know if y'all can hear it coming up through the mic. One second. Let me fix this. This is some crazy mess. Okay, hold on. Y'all hold tight. I just down this. I had to eat some nuts. Realize how that sound. But I had to eat some nuts right quick. Some cashews or something. And down this water because my stomach was coming through this mic, I think. The ghrelin of it all. But anywho, damn, I need some more water. So that's 6. Half a damn water. Yeah, I'm down that too. Drink y'all water, please. Drink y'all water. Oh, yeah. Okay. I had to take a break right quick because I don't want that sound coming through the mic. But anywho, so like I said, they leave out that part about the ghrelin, and the part that's most important, because they worrying about that other shit with the stomach and all this, and ghrelin makes you have an appetite, and leptin don't make you have an appetite. But it's not that simple, y'all. It's not that simple. Let me tell you one thing ghrelin does, which y'all saw me play a video about it. Y'all saw me read. I was actually reading from Google about ghrelin and leptin. Never once did I read something, or never once on that video I played did they say that ghrelin eats white adipose tissue. Now, I like for y'all to be engaged because I want to make sure y'all hear what I'm saying. Do y'all remember what I said white adipose tissue is? I'm still growling. Do y'all remember? Anybody want to chime in? Hold on. Make sure that I don't even know if my phones are not up, y'all. So let me put it up. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what white adipose tissue is. That's not what I wanted to do. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get these phone lines up because maybe y'all might want to call in. Maybe the new folks watching might want to call in. I see Demetrius has the answer. That's what I'm talking about, King. Fat. White adipose tissue is fat. White. It can also be brown adipose tissue, but adipose tissue, nonetheless, by any other name, is just fat. Ghrelin, for some reason, eats that shit up. It loves it, and I mean at a fast pace. It's like Pac-Man who ate the power pellet. Y'all know Pac-Man fast. He can get them little whatever he is, them dots that he eating. But then when he get a power pellet, it's like, wah, 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 wah. You know the sound. And now he can eat ghosts. He eat everything. He moving fast too. Think of ghrelin like that. But did I read that? Did that thing tell you that? Would a doctor tell you that? Probably not. Because it's not their focus. This is why I bring up the thyroid gland to say, from experience, I could tell you they won't. They only care about your TSH levels, and that's from your thyroid spitting out the T4. They don't give a damn about the T3 and the T2 and T1. They don't care about none of that. Even though you as a person should care about it, because it's going to affect your quality of life. But doctors' only job is to make sure you living. And if you poor, they not gonna care about them shits. They not. Only rich people can get them to go in depth and study about that type stuff. Not no poor people. But ghrelin, it is what it is. What they say it is, that's true. But I just read to you and showed you that ghrelin is in the stomach and the pancreas. The one from the pancreas is the one I like. That's the one I like. Well, how, Miss T, do you get the one from the pancreas to take over and dominate more so than the one in the stomach? You heard the word fasting. That's how. Some people think that when they fast, that it's about not eating. And we got to dispel that myth. So to all my new heads, and I know y'all in here from Facebook or even in here, y'all hit the like button and smash the subscribe button if you never have. If you're new to this channel. But hit that like button. Smash the like button, y'all. Smash it, smash it, smash it. For all my Facebookers, coming to YouTube and smash the like button. Okay? So, because I'm giving you some nuggets here. I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you, I do everything from experience, from formal training, meaning I've went to school and actually took medical classes. I was trying to be an ultrasound tech, and for that, you got to take these preliminary classes. Some of this stuff I stored and dumped, like the math classes. I had to store and dump it because you'll always have a device to help you do math or whatever. So like I had to take statistics, which I didn't need for my history degree, but apparently to get into that field in anything medical, you had to take statistics, in which I got straight A's. Ask me some shit about statistics now. Store and dump. I'm done with it. I'll never have to in my life again take statistics. Same thing with physics 1 and 2. Whew, that's a hard class. Straight A's in the lab and in the class. Ask me some stuff about physics. I actually know some stuff, but not a lot. Store and dump. But anatomy and the different science classes outside of that, yeah, I remember. And I'm here to tell you, your body is a balancing act. It always has a 1, 2, 3 different way to approach something. So most of the time when you talk to doctors, they always talk about the number one way to approach, the preferred method. And depending on the issue, if it's a moneymaker type issue, then how they talk to you is going to be based on what the pharmaceuticals say. The pharmaceuticals pretty much run the doctors. They out trump the doctors because they want the doctors to give you the medicine that they make. And they know the medicine that they making might be fucked up for you because those fillers, in order to make a whole pill, they need extra stuff. So, because they're not giving you the whole 100% Monty of whatever it is in the pill that fixes you. They're giving you 40% because we need repeat offenders. We need you to keep coming back and buying this shit. If I give you 100% of it, you're gonna be fixed. Then I'm not gonna be able to sell you shit. So I'm gonna give you 40% of what can fix you, and the other 60% gonna be fillers. Now you like, but Miss T, it's a small pill with a lot of fillers in it, fake sugar. And even in that small dosage can do a number to you. That's why people take pills, and then they got to take pills to fix whatever side effects they got from taking that first pill. It's a vicious cycle. What that got to do with all this? Because people are diabetics. People are trying to diet out there. Dieting and exercise is $1 billion business, and it doesn't really take all that shit. The quick, fast, non-secret way is vitamins and minerals, i.e. nutrients. That's it. That is it. But you got people like me, some kind of way. I was learning. Hey, it's not as simple as vegetables and fruits, even though that's what it is. But you start studying these foods and all the healing properties that they offer, and this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, wow, I like this. I like that. Like I could tell you guys, grapes are an appetite suppressant. They are. I tell people that all the time because that one should be see the shiny seed. People should know that. That one should be just widespread, understood across the world. The easiest. Grapes grow everywhere around the world. Seem like. And that's a great appetite suppressant. But a lot of us don't know that. But what if we knew that? And we young and we sitting up there, we eating this and we eating that. I got family members who have had weight issues. I got some of them I think about all the time, and I be like, wow, I know what's wrong with you. And what you was told was wrong with you is not wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Gaining weight is more times than anything a reaction to something that's wrong. Not you gain weight and now something is wrong. It's never really that way. But try telling that to somebody who don't have the problem. Because one, people don't have sympathy and they damn sure don't be having empathy. That's the problem. So it's one of them things that can be crippling and stifling to a person who's going through it, because all somebody got to do is say, bitch, shut up. Your ass just lazy. And you be like, and make you think, am I lazy? No. 9 times out of 10, it's not you. It's what happened to you. But if you knew how to not let that, whatever it is, happen to you, and you wouldn't let it happen to you, and therefore you wouldn't have the problems, and then the domino effect wouldn't happen. But that's the problem. We don't know. If you didn't know that you were severely allergic to fake sugar, how would you know? How does that come up in the talks with the doctor's office? What do they do on a basic physical? They check your reflexes, right? They shine the light in your eye and then up your nose and in your mouth. They look in your ears, right? They weigh you. They take your temperature. They feel your body, like, they just feel your fingers. Maybe they'll touch your head. Whatever the case, they do a basic physical. How does in that basic physical do anybody glean that, hey, what does this do when I eat it? Even taking allergies, allergy tests. I was fully grown, like mid 40s, before I even knew everything I was allergic to. I never knew until I was 40, about mid 40s, that I was allergic to alcohol in a severe way. That alcohol to me is like poisonous. Never knew. But that ain't the question I would ask. Just, I never drank. And people be like, this bitch lying. Because I'd have been in so many social settings and they try to give me a shot and I be like, nah, I don't drink. Come on, just a little bit. You got to take some. I don't drink. Why? I'm allergic. Well, just a little bit, just a sip, that won't hurt you. My mouth drops and be like, what part of allergic don't you understand? Like, just to satisfy you, just so you can smile or we can all, in your mind, be happy. I'm supposed to drink something that I'm allergic to, and I just told you I'm allergic to it. And go ahead and get the allergic reactions that I get and possibly go to the ER. But just, that's the wisdom that sometimes people come at you with. Like, I'm sorry for my dog barking. I don't know. But shit like that was like, huh? But people will actually come at you like that. People will actually say stuff like that, and you be like, did you just not hear that I was allergic? Hold on. Had a delivery. Sorry, had a delivery. I'm looking at my front door now. Okay. I had to tell my dogs, be quiet. So, but people would say that to you. Come on, just a little. Really? So, you gonna hold my hand when I'm at the ER? What you gonna do? When you know better, you do better. For some reason, for years and years and years, I just never drank. I didn't know why, though. I know I felt sick. I know that my stomach be feeling like I'm bleeding or something from my stomach. I be throwing up this weird color shit, and I'm talking off a couple of sips. It was a no-brainer. Oh, girl, don't drink that. Don't drink, because you ain't handling it good. But smoking, no problem. But I know people who can't smoke. So it's like you know better, you'll do better. But sometimes if somebody ain't giving you the proper information, you're not going to know better to do better, right? So what we just learned about with ghrelin, I'm telling you something different. Two things can be true at the same time. I'm telling you that your pancreas producing ghrelin, that's what you want. I'm telling you, you're not going to get hurt. You know, they make it sound like, from what we read and what we saw in the film, that ghrelin comes from a lack thereof, i.e., appetite. Ghrelin's going to produce your appetite. It's going to make you want to eat. Therefore, you're going to feel, you're going to feel satiety or whatever, or something. You're going to feel good because it's what you need. The ghrelin is there to tell your body what you need. You need some food. Ghrelin, it don't take but approximately 9 hours, but I'm going to say, to be on the safe side, about 12 hours before a human being can start producing ghrelin. I just told y'all, when it comes out of the pancreas, it's a fat eating machine. It just rolls through. But now, how do you produce ghrelin if that's the case? You heard me read in there something about fasting. But remember, I told you, you can eat in two different ways. You can eat and be fasting at the same time. But I know people gonna say, Miss T, you done lost your mind. No, you can't. The word fast meaning not to eat and this, that, and the other. I asked y'all before in the previous video, what you want, a shot or a pill? A lot of people always say the shot. Why? Because it gets in the bloodstream quicker. It goes directly to the bloodstream, bypasses all the digestion and all that stuff that they got to do and the breakdown and all this stuff. It gets right in the bloodstream. Because when you eat and it goes to the stomach and the digestive tract and do the whole digestive system, eventually the last thing it does is get into the bloodstream. But now, if you eat, you go through all that process of the shit winding up in the bloodstream in the first place. But if you get the shot, it goes right in the bloodstream, right? I.e., if you drink your food, it goes right in the bloodstream. Oh, I know you crazy now, Miss T. No, I'm not. You don't even have to deal with fiber. Fiber is good for you, especially when you're eating. It's not that big a deal when you're drinking. Don't get it twisted. You will do fine. You will live fine. You will do better drinking your food than eating it, because I'm gonna tell you, fiber is you know how I explained it, or I painted the picture, like it's like the broom in the colon or just throughout the body. It sweeps out everything. It's all that sluggish stuff that want to attach itself to the cells, to the veins, to the the cell membrane or whatever the hell, like the colon, the small intestine, the digestive tract, whatever, everything that want to be sludgy and just be stuck. Fiber pulls that down. Every time the fiber comes through, it's pulling stuff with it, and it's gonna pull it right on up out your body. That's what fiber for. You do not use it inside your body. You do not digest it. It doesn't become a usable. And for this purpose, usable are vitamin A, vitamin B, C, D, E, minerals, iron, zinc, magnesium, potassium, whatever. These are usables because we use them every day and you need them. So I just said, I'm just calling them usables. But that's what fiber is supposed to do. And people's like, you need fiber in your diet. Like you can't go without fiber in your diet. Just what I mean by you learn some shit, but you don't really learn it, or you don't connect the dots. That's what fiber is. It's a broom. It is a broom, literally, to clean out the slush in your system. But as I said, always, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's 1,000 ways. How else can you clean out your system? You can drink your stuff straight in the bloodstream and fast. Fasting will clean out your system. Because if you're not eating, you're fasting, right? So let me tie all this in back to the pancreas. Because like I said, last week we talked about insulin. And insulin resistance being another name for diabetes. If nobody has ever told you, that's exactly what the hell it is. Now, some people are going to be like, well, don't listen to her. That's not true. They want to get all clinical. I'm telling you, insulin resistance is another way to say diabetes. You're just not at the level where they want to call you a diabetic. Just like cancer, until you get to a certain level, will they diagnose you with cancer? But you have cancer in your body and have always had cancer in your body, probably since you was 16. The average 16-year-old has cancer in the body. But if apoptosis is doing its job, that oncogene, that P56 oncogene, if they doing its job, you won't get more than the 3% that you got. Now, I don't know the number that it has to be before they diagnose somebody with cancer or diabetes, but whatever that guideline number is, it doesn't mean that you don't have it in your body before you reach that guideline. So again, ghrelin, you want the production of ghrelin, especially if you in it for the weight loss. Because I don't know what it is, but the hormone ghrelin, love is some white adipose tissue. Love it. And love is some fat tissue. It eats it up and eats it fast. But we know there's two types of fats, and that's the brown fat and the white fat. Brown, you don't have to worry about because it's going to burn itself up. It's going to do what you want fat to do. It's the white that's stubborn and want to stick around and just, dysmorph your body and all that stuff. So, ghrelin is something you want. So, you got insulin that comes when you eat. Ghrelin comes when you don't eat. As I read that to you, I didn't make that part. That part I didn't make up. The other part, you can say I make up, but I'm not. It just from experience. It's not something they will teach you. They don't teach that side. I'm agreeing with them all the way up to a certain point. The ghrelin that goes on with stomach digestion that's in the stomach, I'm not talking about that. I have nothing to say or add or take away. It's the one in the pancreas that I got to say something. And when I tell y'all, when I said hunger wasn't a real thing, well, I read that hunger pretty much comes when you don't eat because there's something about the stomach lining. And I know you be like, well, T, that's the same thing we always know is hunger. I'm hungry. So therefore I want to know hunger comes from the production of ghrelin. And the reason why you feel that hunger is because the ghrelin has now affected the stomach lining. But if the ghrelin didn't affect the stomach lining, you will not feel hunger. This is why I say it's not a real thing. Let me paint that story. So when I say I'm concentrating on the pancreas ghrelin rather than the stomach ghrelin, this is how I'm gonna show you that what I just said was true. So if you fasting but you're eating, which means you're drinking the juice, It's getting directly in your bloodstream, which is the last stage of eating, period. Like when you eat, you go through your digestive process. It goes through the small intestines. It goes through the liver to be filtered and the other organs to be filtered. And then eventually it makes its way to the large intestine. And then some of the nutrients in it be used. And then eventually you poop it out. Right? But somewhere between making its way to the large intestines, before it does all that, kind of like after the filtering system, it got to get in the bloodstream. Because filtering is breaking it down so the body can use it and it's carried through the bloodstream, right? Let's say that take 10 hours. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes. Let's say 2 hours, okay? Versus I drink it and it's instantly in my bloodstream. I didn't need to filter. I didn't need to do nothing. Nothing needed to make it to my colon. I don't have to poop that out. So everything I'm pooping out is going to be old stuff. It's got to come out. Because if I'm putting in my bloodstream everything that's usable, then you got to think I'm not adding unusable shit. So I'm not building fat and I'm not collecting sugar. But if I'm fat, then I already have in storage, which when it turns to fat, that is another way of saying it's in storage. So if I have this storage buildup of adipose white tissue, then my body can say, you know what? It's crunch time. I need that. I need the sugar out of that. So my body will pull from that and break it down to something usable and kind of start that process. It's a backup to the backup to the backup. So because you're not eating every day, but you are eating because you're drinking it, but it's not making it to your stomach. Your stomach is going to produce ghrelin, but your pancreas is too. And it's when the pancreas produces the ghrelin that we care about it the most. Because if the pancreas is producing ghrelin, guess what it's not producing? Insulin. Insulin is what? Sugar. If you drinking it straight in the bloodstream, then guess what you did not put in your body? Sugar. So if your body so chooses that it needs sugar for that day, it's going to go to your stored sugar, i.e., white adipose tissue, and burn it the hell up. At that point, it turns into brown adipose tissue and it gets burnt up. That's however much percentage of fat you lost every day, that day, every day that you do this. But you're not going to pass out. You're not going to get dizzy. You're not going to get sick because you're not starving. And when you in this zone, you will no longer feel hunger pains. You just won't. So that's why I can say hunger pains. It's not real. It's not real in the sense that how they explained it to us. It's actually just a condition that happens when ghrelin is produced in the stomach because you didn't eat. No food made it to there. So you could be like, well, it is. Like, no. No food made it there, but you can drink your food and it won't be produced. The one from the pancreas will. They're not going to explain that to you, and you may never know. But that's just the gist of, how this thing works. I'm not going to go all the way in depth because I'm going to try to tie everything together that I've said thus far. So I've talked about, in my videos, I've talked about T4 and how important it is. And all doctors care about is that it's registering in your body that you have it. So when I take my Synthroid in the morning, my body registered I had the adequate amount of T4 in it. That's it. That's all. They don't care. They could care less if I make metabolism. They could care less. All they know is she has her T4 in her system. She gonna live today, and she gonna live tomorrow. Whatever, it's good. You're gonna have a build up. Boom. That's all we wanted to do. But as for me, I care about the symptoms that I go through. I care about the weight gain that I'm gaining. If I gain weight, especially since I don't eat to that size, I care because weight can also have a dominant domino effect as far as your health. When you're bigger, you overwork your heart. I already have a bad heart. When you're big, and I had that because they pulled my organ when I was 24. That's what happened. It wasn't like I asked to have the goiter or the cancer, and I'm not crying about it, but I'm saying everything had a domino effect. So I don't need to gain a lot of weight, and I had got down to a good size before the pandemic. But sitting around not doing nothing or whatever, I really wasn't even trying to eat healthy. I was just sitting, because we was bored. We were up in the house all day. You know what I'm saying? So what do people do? They turn to eating, and I was no different. So I'm just saying, in the end of the day, T4 is needed in your system, but make sure they check your reverse T3. Remember, reverse T3 should be normal. Reverse T3 is like 5. If it's over 10, you have an issue. 10, it should never be over 10, but you'll be surprised. Go get checked. And you could be a person with 50. They say, I promise you, I can build your profile. You are very severely obese if it's that high. And it's nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing you can do but change the way you eat. You can exercise for 15 hours a day. That will not drop an ounce. So you have to, at that point, when you have those type of issues, you at that point have to change how you eat. This is what I mean by damaged goods. A lot of people are damaged and don't even know it. We can get into why people can have the affliction of having a high number of reverse T3, but I'd rather not. It don't matter. That's if you ever go to the doctor and you get tested for your thyroid, make them test that. Remember the numbers that I told you was normal and what's not. Just make them test that. Then I told you about the liver, and I told you that when you just eating food, period, eventually your food gonna make its way to the liver. Now, what is the liver job? What is the spleen job? What is the gallbladder? All of them, and kidneys filter. That's their job. That's the primary job. But the liver does 2 jobs. It also converts the T4, which your body register as adequate in this cell, into something that your body can use, which we all know and love, and its name is metabolism. But as long as your body is filtering, it will not metabolize. It won't do it. Now, what I mean by long as your body filtering, sorry, my back itch. What I mean by filtering, so you eat a cheeseburger. Your body can't digest none of that shit or whatever. Let's say macaroni and cheese. That's a good one. Bread, I mean, a typical Southern meal or Thanksgiving dinner sometimes. Your body can't digest half of that stuff. It's got to be filtered. The filter can either spend an hour and a half, at max 2 hours filtering, and the rest of the day metabolizing, keeping you thin and looking good. Because that's why they be like, you only need to work out 3 times a week, like 45 minutes each time. Tops 4. That's it. That's what they tell. I mean, that's what medical doctors would tell you. Tops 4. 4 times a week. It's 7 days in a week. 4 times a week. 45 minutes each time. That's all they say you need. You will get everything you need from that type of workout. Like, spend it how you want. Resistance training is real popular. Cardio, whatever. But if you have a reverse T3 when the highest number like 40, 55, when I got out the military, mine was 45. You think in the 20 years the military told me shit? No, they didn't tell me nothing. But an integrated doctor told me, and we worked to get that back to normal. And now I may be over 10 at times, but I'm not 40 nothing no more. And at least once a year I ask them to test that. Or if not once every other year. I said, can you test my reverse T3? My doctor be like, why do you want to? I be like, just do it. I got my reasons. Because if it's high, then I know where to go get my desiccated T3 medicine. Now, T3 medicine does exist, and if you gave it to regular people, it will peel weight off your ass. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. It's not protocol. They don't want to do that. So when people be like, is there a pill that can make people do it? Is. I've taken it. I'm telling you, it is. But you don't want to do that because messing with hormones is dangerous. You get some men, you messing with your hormones. You throw off one hormone, you throw off everything. I always tell y'all, an imbalance one place and it's imbalance every place. So you give men T3 and won't nothing wrong with your thyroid, the whole endocrine system in the first place. And guess what happens? Now you growing boobs. That what you want? Same thing for a woman. Your whole endocrine system working fine. You go and take these T3 and all this stuff. You throw stuff off. You make, it's a domino effect. Now you got a wee-wee between your legs. That what you want? So believe me when I tell you, don't look. If your endocrine system, i.e. your glands, are working fine, leave them the hell alone. A lot of people want the easy way out. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I'm telling you, you throw something off. You done had a tutu all your life. Now you got a wee-wee. You don't want that. Now you got a 5 o'clock shadow. You don't want that. Dudes, you got to get you a 32 AAA bra or, you a B cup in this motherfucker. No, you don't want that. You don't want that. You crying all the goddamn time. You don't want that. But some people want to lose weight so bad that they will actually take some T3 pills. I wouldn't. I can. I wouldn't if I was healthy. But I can't. I have no thyroid gland, y'all remember? It does nothing to change me. But to y'all who do, you can't have two things working at the same time. It could kill you. That's why they will not give it to you just because you want it. They will never. But those pills do exist, just so y'all know. It ain't gonna kill you right away. Nothing happens overnight like that, but you wake up one day with a stroke or a heart attack and you wonder where it came from because you was taking those pills on a regular. If you so happen to know somebody to give it to you, I'm guilty because as they was trying to find the right dosage, and every month or something we was going up a dose, and I had just got these pills, and the doctor the test came out, and she was like, I'm gonna put a prescription in for you to get a higher dosage. And so I got the higher dose. So I had this whole bottle. I still got some pills laying around the house. And this is me, and I was wrong for this, but I gave 2 pills to one of my homeboys. I gave 2 pills to one of my homegirls. I actually mailed these pills off. Then I gave the rest of the bottle to somebody I knew here. And their kid had a weight issue like some kids can. And I know I told this person, I said, no, do not give it to your kid. Don't do it. And I never had the ending conversation, but I think they did, and I was highly upset. I never said nothing to that person, but that person thought I was dumb. No, I knew you gave it to your kid, and I was really mad. But I was like, I had to be more mad at myself because I gave it to you. And could I have kept you with a steady supply? Probably could have, but you didn't deserve it at that point, and I wouldn't do it because I told you if it ain't broke, don't do it. And the worst thing you could do is give it to a child. Like, hey, it's not no shortcuts out here. And then the person was like, so and so is losing weight. Look at him. I knew then, but I never say nothing. Just because I don't never say nothing, don't mean I don't see you. I see all of you. I'll see, like when I say see all of you, like if I know you and you low key condescending or shady or anything or lying, I see it. I just don't say nothing about it. And that was dirty because I felt bad. I was like, I shouldn't have never gave it to you. And that's why you ain't getting them on. And I got tons of it here in the house. You ain't getting them on. I wanted to see by giving it to my friends because I gave it to the grown person. That grown person gave it to that kid. But I just wanted to see the work. So everybody I gave two pills to, I said, it ain't gonna do nothing to you in 2 days. So try it out. Because I just really want to see. This is how I'm curious and I get to know stuff and I try stuff out. And of course, it was totally their choice to either want to do it or not. They didn't have to. But I asked them before I sent it. Like I actually sent the shit in the mail. Like, two of the pills. And this ain't no drug or nothing. Like this ain't no narcotics. So I ain't getting in trouble for sending that. But they get it. And they took it, and my one homegirl told me in 2 days she lost 7.5 pounds. So I was like, wow. But my one homeboy, he said he lost about the same. Maybe he lost a little more. He be in the chat. Y'all know him, but I ain't gonna mention his name. He be in the chat during the boxing week. But he lost about the same in 2 days, doing nothing. Nothing. So what that told me is them shits is real. But when you got a person like me that's working behind a deficit, stuff don't work like that for me. So that's why I always tell y'all, don't judge by me. I'm working at a deficit. I don't have the gland anymore. I'm -4 organs in my body. I'm still here. So I'm appreciative to be here. But nothing will work for me on the level that it'll work for you. In fact, you guys, it'll work so much better. So that just reverse T3. You go to the doctor, ask him to do a test. When you hear the number 2, is mainly talking about storage. Storage is important because when you sleep, as I told you, nothing you do, whatever this journey or any diet or anything you ever do, if you don't properly sleep, it ain't gonna work. So this is when storage come in handy because you use your usables all through the day, and at night, it's dipping in the storage. Sometimes you don't have a storage, you getting sicker, and you can possibly not be here for the most part. So when you hear the number 2, they talking about storage. Iron is a little different, but it's about the same. But D2, T2, storage. And you have to have adequate storage because you never know whenever any day coming, right? Then we talked about the liver and its main job, because every day for the most part, people gonna eat. And all you need to know is that every day that you eat, your food turns to sugar, especially food that you cannot digest. It turns to sugar and will turn to fat. But in order for it to be usable sugar, it has to be the type of sugar that is usable, not man-made, granulated white sugar, fake ass fugazi sugar, none of that. It has to be sugar that, that come in foods naturally, like fruits and vegetables. Even if they don't taste sweet, they in there. So then, what happened? We was talking about how if you imagine a club and you're trying to get in the club, all of you just been eating, and now you're in this new environment, and the thing to do is go to the club. So three of y'all get together, three sugar molecules from the food that you just ate, and you do your hair up and get dressed and everything, and you want to go to the club. Well, the club is an exclusive club, i.e., your bloodstream. And so to get into the cells, because that's what blood cells are, the bloodstream, you can get in, but you got to come with somebody we know. We only know the sugar from insulin, from the pancreas. So every 3 molecule that registers in your body, pancreas create a molecule, 1 molecule of sugar for every 3. And then all 4 of y'all get together. Y'all walk up to the bouncer, and it's like a key you open to get into the bloodstream. This happens all the time after you eat. If you don't have no insulin, can't get in the club. Can't get in the club if you're fake sugar. The bouncer recognize that. You got your fake ID and everything. The bouncer be like, I see 12 on your motherfucking face, clear as day. Nope. To the rear march. They won't let no underage folks in there. It's only for the of age folks. And so that's the only way you get in the club. Everybody who's underage, i.e. fake sugar, go to the rear or go step aside. And guess what? Turn into white adipose tissue, i.e. fat. Now, we had to talk about what happens when you don't eat. When you juice in the good way. When you even if you just eat nothing but fruits and vegetables, same thing. It's just a slower way to get to the same conclusion, but you will nonetheless. As I said, 1,000 ways to skin a cat. A lot of people ask me about vegetables, like how to cook them, and the best way to eat them is raw. Every time you cook it, you pull nutrients out. If the whole goal is to get nutrients in, then eat it raw. I know that's easier said than done, but that's why I drink it. I go back to that's why I drink it. So if you're not eating, you're producing ghrelin. I don't care about the stomach part. I care about the pancreas part, because that's the stuff that burns through and eats through fat. Now, going forward, when I have these shows, I think that's about all as far as I'm going to go in with the body, because anything else is just fluff, it's extra or whatever. But if you understood the importance of your thyroid gland and why you need to secrete T4, and you understood that when it went through the digestive tract and everything and made its way to the filtering systems, that why it needed to just go ahead and be filtered, like the food should be filtered and out the way. And when you filter in vegetables and fruit, it's like a 30-minute process. But when you filter in a cheeseburger, you could be 18 hours. But you just needed to understand that the liver, kidneys, and all them places will spend all day filtering before they ever do a lick of metabolism work. But what you want them to do is spend minimum time filtering and spend all day metabolizing. That's what you want. And we let you know about the insulin and ghrelin that comes out of the pancreas. If you're fasting, i.e. not eating food through your mouth, then you'll produce ghrelin, which is a good thing. But if you're drinking your food, your saliva will not build up. You won't get hungry. I mean, I could say this, but you would never believe me until it happened to you. It's not something that's going to happen to you in the first week. And remember, I told y'all in the beginning, I was talking about me being sick this last couple of weeks. Have I had hunger periods? Yes, I did. You know why? Because I'm taking medicine that's doing the opposite of what I'm trying to do. Them fucking steroids that they be giving me, it saves my life, but it makes me hungry. That's what they do. So it's kind of like acting like a ghrelin in the way that they explain it, right? But the ghrelin that I'm talking about from the pancreas is developed same for the same reason as the stomach one develops. But if you drinking your juice, the stomach one won't develop, if that makes sense. But the one from the pancreas will always develop if you fast. And fasting is either juicing or not eating. But juicing is you're eating. You're just eating nothing but nutrients. I don't fast a cheeseburger, just so you know. You can or juice a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't do meat. Juice a potato. It's nasty as a bitch. Just so you know. It's nasty as hell. But as I say, we all slow walking right now on our journey. Well, I'm doing it hardcore. Some of you guys in here are doing it hardcore. And as I say, I'm always welcoming your testimony. And at this point, do anybody got anything to say? Do they want to share? I got the phone lines open 706-804-4449. Do you have anything just to share? It's a little bit. You can type it. You can call it in. Let us know something. And remember, as I always say, am I gone with the wind voice? Tomorrow's another day. I'm not opening the door for you to, fall off the wagon or anything or cheat or whatever. But what I am saying, if you going into this with the mindset of, like, when you feel like you got to exercise and diet like to the core, hardcore, I don't even be tripping on stuff like it's not a time limit. Like it's your time. You're on your time. If you mess up, get back up. Same thing. The same thing you would tell your kid if they fell off their bike and they had to get back up. Back on the bike and start all over again. I'm coming at you the same way. Sometimes it gets tough. There's nothing you can do about it. Like me taking this steroids these last 2 weeks, y'all can see that I'm have some swelling. If you look at my eyelid, look, I don't know if you can see it, but what is it? This side? No, this side. That thing is going down. The swelling. I can't even open the eye all the way. Like a lot of people think I have a lazy eye. To an extent, but not as lazy as it always appear because my eyes are always swelling, y'all. The prednisone and other whatever stuff they give me helps with the swelling. If they don't, it would be swollen shut. I don't want to walk around with one eye kind of open, the other one not. That's weird. It looks weird. I'm looking at myself. Anywho, testimonies. I gave y'all mine. Come on, y'all share. Y'all not gonna share? Oh my goodness. I do feel happy though because I did get some favorable results from some of you in my email, and keep sharing with me. I love it. I again will always say that I'm not gonna tell your story. You tell your story. I don't know if I had said, look, I'm up 6 waters, or 6.5, I should say. I think I'm gonna reach my goal of 100 ounces today because when I get off, I'm going to drink some water. But yeah, keep drinking your water. remember, we are off dairy. Everybody should be off dairy at this point. Nobody's eating no dairy. That's inclusive of cheese. That's inclusive, well, cheese is dairy, but that's inclusive of eggs. Told y'all what eggs was the last time. Eggs is the period egg that didn't get fertilized by the chicken. That's what it is. I love eggs. And we're not eating meat. And the only meat that I left, because this is not hardcore, is chicken and fish. Tuna fish, to be exact. Why? Because of those omegas, is it 3 that we missing? I think it's 3. I always get them two mixed up because I don't do seafood at all, so I get them two mixed up. But tuna fish have that thing, like you was asking about the fish oil or whatever. If you had a healthy dose of tuna, you'd be good. But you have to be careful with tuna because you can't OD on it. I know most pregnant women love tuna fish. I was one of them. Love tuna fish. I could eat it all day. Just make me some little finger sandwiches. But the mercury of it all, you can't. You gotta be careful of eating a lot of tuna fish. Chicken, as long as you bake it, don't fry it. Cook it any other way, but don't fry it. And so that was good. You could rotisserie your chicken nowadays. But I left that on there. I didn't say anything about bread, but you should just, if we gonna throw one more thing on the Barbie, because I was nice, with just leaving the bread on there, but no more bread. And y'all hear me say it Monday through Friday, and then next Sunday we're gonna take bread out. I have not had bread in a while. Like, bread is not as hard to get rid of as you think, and that's crazy because I used to make everything into a sandwich off of, like, if my mom made meatloaf, I'll make a sandwich out of it some kind of way. Bread is is a staple in most people's homes. You don't need it. You don't need it. Don't you know no good? You don't need no bread. So take the bread out. Okay. So that's dairy, no dairy to include eggs, and no bread. Now you said, Miss T, what about pasta? Well, don't put no condiments on top because we've been took out condiments. That means mayonnaise, ketchup, barbecue sauce. We've been took all that out. None of that. Demetrius said, I am going to eat my peanut and jelly sandwich. Crackers, maybe. Crackers. But no bread. You don't need it. I gave an analogy. What's worse, a slice of bread or a Snicker bar? Some people was like, because I asked it, if you're a deep thinker, you'll say, oh, the slice of bread. But most people, if you just not even thinking, you will think the Snicker bar. What's actually worse is the slice of bread. Wheat bread being the worst of all breads. If you gotta pick a bread, get a potato bread. It's thick, it's filling. If y'all eating breads out there, Demetrius, not you. We not doing no bread. Pimpin', we ain't doing no bread. We off the bread, we off the dairy, we off the cheese, we off the eggs. And we doing 100 ounces of water. I left the chicken and turkey and tuna fish. That's a lot of meals you can make up throughout the week because they do recommend, if you're going to eat a meat, then eat a fowl. Sorry. And tuna is like kind of like the ground beef of the sea, you know what I'm saying? But a fowl, meaning any bird. Your pleasure might be duck, geese, or whatever. I hope not. But turkey, that's good. Chicken. But for all of you of doing your thing hardcore, no meat at all. No bread at all. No pasta at all. Just fruits and vegetables and eating it raw. But the quicker you do it, the quicker you get through it, the quicker you can move to phase 2, when we start adding some things back in. Remember, the whole approach is to clean your system out. But in the meantime, everything that we was talking about today and yesterday, sorry for coughing. But like when we talking about the ghrelin and stuff today, I think it's important for y'all to know how this stuff works. I think you need to know that when you do XYZ, this is what's happening. I think you need to know that when you sleep, that is the most most time that your body do the best work is when you're sleeping, because you reboot, you recharge, all kinds of good stuff. You burn the most calories. Everything is almost like you've reinvented yourself when you sleep. And that's why I told y'all that no diet, no journey, nothing you could ever do will work will work if you don't get your sleep. Nothing. Don't matter. You ain't gotta do my program, do somebody else. If you ain't getting the proper amount of sleep, it ain't gonna work. If you ain't drinking the proper amount of water, it's not gonna work. Doesn't matter. There's 1,000 ways you can skin a cat. You don't gotta do per se what I'm saying or what I'm doing, but I promise you, my way is less invasive. No exercise, none. And I realize that a lot of you are here for the weight, but like I said, when y'all know, those of you who talk to me behind the scenes know, through email, that I ask a couple of questions and you answer those questions, and I come and I sit here and I study, what the questions that I ask you. And if you tell me that you have an ailment, as I say, that's your business, and I'm discreet about that, but I don't also tell you to go against your doctor. Whatever your doctor say, you do. Because everything I'm doing, your doctor cannot be mad at. It cannot. There's no way in hell your doctor can be like, oh, well, I don't want you to do that. No way. I've worked with diabetics. I've worked with people on dialysis. It's quite a handful in my chats throughout the week that I'm working with. But the one that surprised me the most was the dialysis patient. And because I was thinking that is beyond damaged goods or whatever, but turn around. It's getting to the point where that person won't be on dialysis no more. But we had to figure out something. So I had to sit down and actually come up with a good recipe for you to cater to your needs. That's why it's called Finding the Health in You. Demetrius said, what foods help with pain? Weed in its natural state, cocoa plants in its natural state, opium plants in its natural state. Because you can eat those. But food per se, you know why you got pain? Guarantee you, and you answer this for me, Demetrius. The source of your pain is swelling, correct or not? Correct or not? Let me know. I'm gonna wait for your answer. But I guarantee you. Hold on. Let me get some water. I'm gonna wait for your answer right quick, but I'm gonna get some water. Just hold on. All right, I'm back. Got me some nuts too. You said, I guess so. You said, I guess so. Hold on, let me see. So okay, I'm back. You said 40 ounces of water. Good job. Good job. It's 3:30. Oh wow. So yeah, you said the source of your pain is swelling, but you saying you guess so. You guess or you know? Like not trying to be real invasive. You don't have to tell me the area. If it's somewhere like a digit or something, like your phalanges, your fingers, your toes, maybe your shoulder. Is it swollen, you think? Because when you say guess, it's kind of like, but 9 times out of 10 people, when you have pain, there's some swelling involved, you know. But if you, okay, you said 2:30 where I am, your stomach, okay. Well, so as I tell you, I have a remedy to that. This part of it is when I work with boxers the most. Because boxers be stomachy sometimes, or you can't be that in the boxing ring. And so I come up with recipes to help that. But I am fixing a stomach issue. We just learned about what happens with ghrelin and stuff and leptin in regards to the stomach. But the whole approach that I have is to clean your system out. We detoxing, we cleaning the system out, right? So you said, I know what you meant, King. You said, so I need to reduce the inflammation. But I know I have put out the information of how to reduce the inflammation because, again, what did I tell you? What did I tell you guys? So, like, why do we have inflammation? That might be next week's show. But why do people have inflammation? And we're going to break that down. What's the whole purpose of having inflammation? Cortisol released in your body in abundance or chronically will cause inflammation. Arthritis is inflammation. My lucky butt actually has a rheumatoid arthritis, which means an autoimmune disorder. And not only am I having swelling in my joints and stuff, but it is my body attacks itself. That's what autoimmune disorders mean. But arthritis in general is inflammation, and that shit hurts. When I was a young person and, you be looking at older people in your family and they be like, oh, and they be like stopping them from barely walking. You see old people today that barely walk or they be walking slow or they got the little, not cane, but the little roller thing and they just pushing, they holding themselves. And you see people, even your age, and I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. You in the grocery store, you pushing your cart. If somebody's walking straight up and they just walking, they good to go. You'll see people leaning and they going a little slow. That's for a reason. Oh, I peep someone I see him because I've been there. I know it. You don't when walking gets difficult for you. It ain't because you don't know how to put your 2 feet in front of you and walk. You learned that at 1 year old, right? It's the swelling. Trust and believe me, it's the swelling. When you got like, I think they used to call it restless leg syndrome, or like when you feel like that in your feet, or your feet get cold at night because ain't no blood really circulating through there. That's why. But you got some swelling going on. People with the back problems, that's swelling. Knee problems, swelling. Shoulder problems, swelling. It's around your joints, you're swelling. Now, either it's because you've been an athlete and you put your body through hell, which most of us do, and it's bound to happen. Oh, there ain't no problem with that. or the most common, which everybody don't associate, autoimmune disorders. Autoimmune disorders causes people to swell. When I told y'all, y'all heard me wheezing. When I told y'all I'm taking these steroids, why? Because I'm swelling. I have angioedema. It could get to a point where it's chronic, where they'll call it edema of some type, right? And I have that. That's one of my autoimmune disorders. As I showed y'all, my eyes, like, I mean, y'all can see right up in there. That's swelling. I've had swelling so bad that my eyelids had stretch marks. They didn't stay. They didn't stay. My lips are swollen up so bad I look like Woody Woodpecker. I bullshit you not. And they was this close in my Maxwell Smart voice to splitting. And if it would have, I'd never be the same. My lips would have split. I will always have that scar. It'll never be the same. I've had my ears swell so bad that, let's say this is the ear itself. I'll have my hands this far off. No, hold on. Let me go in and look. About that far off. As you see, I'm not touching the headphone, right? Saying that the headphone is my ear. And drop to my knees. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's hair that I can't see that I got, because sometimes we have hair on our body that we can't see, and it's longer than you think. I don't know if I was touching a piece of hair or whatever, because I'm like, I'm not even touching the ear. I'm just a little off it. And and I never forget that I didn't go on the ship cruise one time because my ear was swelling. They like, no, you stay behind. And didn't know that was around the time when I first started developing the problem with swelling. And then I went to Hawaii, and that's when it really kicked in. This is why I carry an EpiPen, y'all. So this when it really kicked in. And I remember showing up, I couldn't move half of my face. So they was like, did she have a stroke? But I was so swollen, they thought my husband beat the shit out of me. They literally, I mean, they was like easily trying to talk to me. When they took me in the back, I noticed the cops. I'm like looking around like, oh shit, like what happened? They was like, you could tell us. I'll tell you what. Are you married? Yes. I'm not with him right now. Um, they thinking maybe he was in the same state I was in. He was overseas. I had left his ass. I'm in the States now. He's still overseas in Japan. But they thought that he beat the shit out of me, and they was ready. And I was like, I said, trust me, if somebody hit me like this, you would be putting me in jail for murder. I would never accept no shit like that. So it wasn't that. It wasn't that. And that was my beginning journeys. We're gonna say around 2006, 2007. And I've had that problem ever since then. Now before 2006, never in my life have I had that problem. Never. Here it is, 2021. I still got that problem. It subsides and goes away when I'm hardcore on my journey. It doesn't be as detrimental. So even though my eye is swollen right now, I'm still able to get on here and I guess relatively look somewhat normal. But it could be worse. It could be really, really swollen. And then when it's swollen, it changes color. But the problem is my inflammation don't just be there. If it's from my neck up, I have to go to the hospital. The only other time I would go to the hospital if it's my fingers, because finger and toes swelling, woo, you talking about pain. I need relief. But the quick answer to your question, Demetrius, is the stuff I was telling y'all to eat. That put aside swelling. Yes, there are some food, but you match it, and it's almost like you mix it up. I don't know if this is a actual profession, but in my journey of trying to learn about all this stuff, what I wind up doing is studying food. I don't know why. It just was a natural progression for me to take in my journey. So as I'm studying food, I study the healing properties, and I've gotten really good at mixing certain things together, making concoctions that address, like he just asked me about inflammation. Most of my recipes will always address that or prevent that. But again, the whole approach is to detox your system, to clean it out. Now, I wanted to talk about somebody had asked me in the email about, isn't it a quicker way? I just don't feel like doing this. I don't want to go through the hunger part, and da da da. And I'm like, okay, there's all kinds of ways to skin a cat, as I always say. But how many ways that you just basically changing the way you eat, but you don't have to exercise? You don't. You don't. If you're in my age group, you want to get exercise back into your routine. Why? Because once you're 30 and you're a woman, your muscle starts to deteriorate if you don't use them. They just go down. They start to degrade. Men a little bit older, maybe 36, 40, same thing. But if you in your 20s or your 30s, all you gotta do is just change the way you eat. Don't worry about the muscles. And when I say 30s, early 30s, mid 30s, whatever, because you still winning. Like, women notice the complete degradation or the downhill spiral when they in their 40s. I don't know about men, but women do. That's typically when we be like, damn, it's a whole 180. I did a whole 180. You know what I'm saying? Um, remember Ossie Berry, and all that stuff? And you had these celebrities going on there talking about it. Well, the part they didn't talk about is the detox. And half of them probably was not using Ossie Berry. They never gonna admit to this, you guys. Most celebrities actually do what I'm talking about right now. That's how it happens fast for them. That's why they can go and train for a movie and get the desired result really, really, really quick. You know what I'm saying? You can come out with your movie. You can rap on your movie like December, and you could have played a fat person, like that's a real obese person. And let's say the movie up for an Oscar and Golden Globes and shit. That all that shit going down in April and March and all this good stuff. And by the time, let's say your film goes up and you win the Oscar, and you all happy and stuff because you're like, I won the Oscar and all this stuff. And when you get up on stage, you're not fat. And you're like, but y'all just wrapped up the movie in November, December, and how the fuck you not, how you dropped the weight? Or um like they could pick somebody that's real huge, but they gotta play like a biopic, some real character, but you just look like this person. You the perfect person to play this person, but you naturally carry weight with you or whatever in your natural life. And they were like, nah, actually this person was a lot smaller than you. They were like half your size. Do you want to play it? And them actors be like, hell yeah. And they lose weight for the role. But they able to do this, y'all. I'm telling you, because they'll tell you, I take Ossie Berry and blah blah blah, and all these people went out and bought that bullshit. But to the people who know better, they were detoxing. So if you took Ossie Berry with a detox pill, you probably had a lot more success closer to what the advertisement was. But most celebrities, they detox. They probably don't take Ossie Berry, and if they do, it's just gonna increase what they already been doing. They detox. That's what they doing. And to the young ladies that ask me, I want something faster. You know, you can't get no faster than this. That's why I want the other ladies, the two that did it together. I would love for you. Look, I'm stalling. Can you tell your testimony? I'm pushing. I know. I'm sorry, but they had a great week. They had a great week. You know, I ain't gonna get into the weeds of it because they would tell their story one day. But they had a great week. To the guy who was on dialysis, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Um, Pretty soon you're not even gonna need it. But you let them tell you. You let your doctors tell you that, not me. But I'm glad everything's going in the right direction. And to people who watching me today, don't be scared. Y'all can get in contact with me through my email, which is boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. My phone lines are open until I close the show, which is 706-804-4449. This is a boxing show that I broadcast Monday through Friday, 7:30 to whenever I shut it down. Sundays, I do this wellness talk, and I try to stick to just wellness talk. Um, we are all going on a journey together, and we're going to see how it is. Um, on Fridays, I do grown woman talk, where a few friends of mine, females, we all get together and we just talk about life in general or hot topics that at that time. And so, y'all welcome to always join into that. Men are welcome. Men are always welcome to our grown woman talk. We love to see y'all there. As far as this is concerned, it's gonna get to. I know it's gonna get to a point. Where it's gonna be so many because the show is already prolonged. I just want to make sure that I covered everything. The show gets longer when I get more people engaged. So I promise I won't try to go like 5 and 6 and whatever hours. But I will say in the beginning, I had to let y'all know that yeah, I'm coming at the tail end of being sick. I am. I also, it's been a month, so I weighed myself. I've lost in a month's time 15 pounds. It would have been double or more. But again, I've been sick for the last 2 weeks. I still showed up. I had a bad ear infection. I almost didn't do a couple of shows because my ears was hurting so bad. But I pushed through it. If y'all never see me on the show, it's because I'm sick. Like there's times I could be so sick, I just can't do it. And that's the only time I'm not gonna be there. As far as staying up late at night, I have to tweak even my going hardcore. I have to tweak it, meaning I have to go to sleep. So my favorite shows that I watch at night, my favorite YouTube shows, y'all know who y'all are. Starting at midnight my time, which is 9 o'clock Cali time. Y'all know who you are. I'm gonna have to catch you on the rerun in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I can't be staying up late at night. I have to get my sleeps, or everything that I'm doing is in vain. For those of you who just started last week, you know, it's really two of y'all. So y'all know who y'all are. Congratulations. Keep up the hard work. Do not derail yourself. Y'all remember Thanksgiving is just one day. I mean, you don't, it's on you. I ain't gonna hold you because I know that's a weak thing for most people. But all that meal that you make at Thanksgiving is not like you can't make any other time. But it's one day. So then to the others who started their journey too, you know, I'm checking for y'all. Y'all know I be pushy a little bit, but I'm doing it with all sincerity. I just want to hear y'all success. If y'all feel more comfortable with just emailing me your success, I'll take that too. But I sit here and I'm happy. Like, and I'm happy from the email that I got from the two ladies. That's a weekend. So they 1 weekend, and y'all know y'all watching, and y'all come from behind the shadows. Don't be scared. We all family here. And so I hope some of the stuff that we say makes sense. And I'm going to keep talking about those main subjects, the thyroid gland, the liver, all the filtering systems, the pancreas, and I was supposed to talk about malnutrition. Just real quick, malnutrition is it's just what it says. Mal meaning no or not nutritional. So I know when I was young, I used to think malnutritious people were skinny. Malnutritious people could be fat as hell too. Malnutrition means you have no nutrition. So we have to correct that. Okay. Just like I told you, you can starve a disease or bacteria to death because they like cheeseburgers, they like pizza. You starve them to death, they die. Not your good stuff, not your good bacteria, not your good cells, but the bad stuff. You starve them to death, they eventually die. If we starve to death as humans, we eventually die, right? But a lot of us been starving ourselves since we was in our 20s. And we got to stop that. That's why people in their 40s take a medical hit, like a nosedive, because you've been starving yourself for 20 some years. You've been malnutritious for 20 some years. And if you say, oh, but Miss T, I'm big, that has nothing to do with being malnutrition. Malnutrition just means you don't have no vitamin. You're not feeding yourself vitamins or minerals, i.e., you're not feeding yourself the way God intended and designed your body for the few that you need, which is vegetables and minerals. So start feeding your body vegetables and minerals and watch how everything come full circle and change. Remember, when you know better, you do better, right? Demetrius said, eat to beat illness. Just pick this book up at the 5 and Below store. All of that's good reading, yes. Eat to beat. Let food be thy medicine, in other words. That's what it is. So when y'all know better, you do better. I'm going to see y'all next week. And we probably either reiterate or re-talk about. Hopefully, some of y'all will feel more brave to come out the shadows. Keep plugging forward. Keep your head down. Keep doing it. It's harder when you stop and try to come back. Remember, you guys gonna be better than me. You guys gonna do better than me. I'm like I said, I'm just coming off of today was my last day taking that steroid. And that steroid, even though it doesn't make me Hulk, nothing like that, it would never do that, or it ain't that kind of steroid. But steroid is good when you're talking about swelling. That's one of the medicines that they give you when you have a swelling problem. But you can fix all that with vegetables and fruits. Real easy. So, but at my stage, the damage is done. I can't go back, and I don't have that opportunity anymore. So I don't have no choice. And I'm just telling you guys, before you get to my stage, you got choices. So let's exercise our choice. No pun intended. Anyway, when you know better, you do better. Peace.